Mother Earth because we have a lot of global challenges. We have climate change. I actually come from a very small village in Germany. My village is a very remote place. If I tell the Germans the name of my village, they don't actually know where it is. And when I was a kid, I had every winter 4 months of snow. Every winter. It was end of December till usually middle of April. If we were lucky, we had a white Christmas. I'm not sure whether any one of you has experienced that, but it makes it very beautiful. Now, my brother's children in the same village in Germany, they don't know anymore when the snow comes and when the snow goes. I could reliably do 3 to 4 months of skiing every winter. My brother's kids don't know anymore. I can see the unreliability of climate patterns, which we call climate change, in my small village in Germany. We see it here in the Philippines, Typhoon Haiyan and all the other impacts that this beloved country has faced is a reflection of 7 billion humans on the planet squeezing Mother Nature to the max to take out the coal, the oil, the gas, the minerals, anything we can get our hands on to fuel our concept of modern industrialization, and we are burning what it took Mother Nature millions of years to accumulate. So the carbon dioxide and other pollution in the atmosphere is increasing more and more. When I first moved to Southeast Asia in Kuala Lumpur, I asked a guy to come in and make an air quality assessment in the place that I was living in. I wanted to make sure I'm not killing myself with toxic pollution inside of my home. You know, simple things like you pick up a newspaper here in Manila. Have you smelled the newspaper? You can smell that they are using solvent-based ink. Not good for the planet, not good for your health, not good for the health of your children. We can do water-based inks, especially if more newspapers use it, the price differential will be close to zero. But at the moment, most of the newspapers here are using the solvent-based ink. This is not good for our human health. So when I had this guy come into my place and measure the air quality in my place was okay. But when he actually put the measurement tool on the outside, the pollution, the fresh air coming in was very polluted. It was similar actually to Metro Manila. Metro Manila is even worse than Kuala Lumpur where I live. The outside pollution due to the vehicles, the burning of the fuels, especially the old style vehicles, is very high concentration pollution. When I used to come a couple of years ago here to Manila, every time I was here I got a throat infection. I was suddenly wondering where does it come from, and I think it came from the concentration of the pollution in the air. Now in the meantime I've gone calvo. One of the ways how I try to become more eco-friendly, I save a lot of water, I save a lot of shampoo, and in Europe, especially now in winter, you have to dry your hair, otherwise it's gonna freeze. So no need for me to do that. I do a lot of things to go green. Hopefully I deserve the accolade Green Man. Actually in 2008 I won a global award called Greenest Person on the Planet. But I always say it came with a lot of votes from the Philippines because I had many friends already here. First time when I was here was in 1999. I gave a 4-day training course in Los Baños, Laguna. And there were a lot of government officials there. And maybe I reveal my age already a little bit. 1999, that's like 16 years ago, right? But with the help of Dina, some of her products and staying green, I think I might look younger than I am. So 15 years ago, or 16 years ago in 1999, I was, still below 30 years old. And I gave this 4-day training course, and I was amazed in the belief that the audience had in me, in terms of what I can contribute to the country. So I always had a soft spot in my heart for the Philippines, that I want to come back and do some major green campaigns. And I think now the time has come to actually do some major green campaigns and mobilize a lot of people to put Mother Nature first. I always ask people, are you a healing influence on the planet, or are you a destructive influence on the planet? Are you helping Mother Nature or are you trashing Mother Nature? That is a question we can all ask ourselves. Whether a housewife, whether a business person, whether a bank clerk, anybody can ask the question, am I healing the planet or am I destroying the planet? With very simple things. We discussed earlier on about electricity bill. You know, I asked myself the question, how I can inspire more people to go green. And I concluded I need to find something that saves people money. Because at the end of the day, if we help ourselves and we help the planet, then there is more impact there. If we save money and save the planet at the same time, more people will be motivated. And I think the best place to start is our electricity bill. You saw earlier on the screen, the company has saved more than 1 million pesos in electricity bill. And you know what? I just calculated that. Guess how much carbon dioxide emissions that represents? 1 million pesos of electricity bill. Anyone an idea? How can you calculate from your electricity bill the amount of carbon dioxide emissions that has been polluting where the electricity was manufactured? Actually, we call it power plants. I asked that question to a couple of kids the other day in a school. They were like 5 years ago. I asked the kids, where does the electricity come from? The kids said, from the wall. Wow, great. So where does the wall get the electricity from? From the plug. And then I said, hey kids, think. Oh, and they didn't know this word power plant, right? We call it power plant. And this one little boy said, from the electricity manufacturing factory. I thought that was a great way of putting it. We are manufacturing the electricity. Unfortunately, most of our electricity, particularly in your country, comes from coal-fired power plants.
Yes.
1 kilowatt hour of electricity, how much carbon dioxide is that? 1 kilowatt hour costs you about 10 pesos, right? In average in the Philippines, it's about 600 grams of carbon dioxide. So 1 million pesos electricity bill, if we assume 1 kilowatt hour costs 10 pesos, that's about in average, I think, what Meralco charges. And did you know, you in the Philippines unfortunately pay the highest rate for electricity in the region. But if something is a problem, there's always an opportunity. That means the Filipinos have the chance to save a huge amount of money by cutting their electricity bill. When I lived in the condo that I live in Malaysia for 4 months, I got a call from my landlady. Hey Matthias, is there something wrong with you? Are you never at home? Are you manipulating the meter? She couldn't believe that my electricity bill was only 25 to 32 ringgit Malaysian. Very low electricity bill. So she asked me, what is wrong with you? So I said, let's meet up for a coffee, we talk about it. Because the guy, bachelor like me from the UK, who was living in the same condo, same circumstances, same temperature, same humidity, same electrical utilities. I didn't spend a penny to change anything. His bill was 450 to 550 ringgit Malaysian. Mine was 25 to 32. So I had over 90% lower electricity bill than that guy, with exactly the same circumstances. And remember, I didn't spend any money to start the saving process. Most people think to save money and save electricity and save the planet, you need to spend a lot of money. My experience is the opposite. I only buy the things that I need, not the things that the industry or branding sometimes tells me I am supposed to need. I don't do shopping therapy, so I save a lot of money. I don't have a car since 18 years. I gave a training course the other day in Penang in Malaysia. I told the guys you could save a lot of money not having a car. Their response was, no car, no girlfriend. But I told them, the girlfriends will pick you up with their car. It's even better. So, you can always look at things from 2 angles. But I told my landlady the biggest reason why I saved electricity is because I use the fan instead of the aircon. Let me show you some green gadgets. I'll show you this one later. This is my eco-friendly pencil case. I showed this one earlier to the table over there. This is what I use to charge my mobile phone. It's a so-called timer. The problem is you charge most of the time your mobile phone at night, right?
Yes.
So your phone might only need 2 hours, but you have it charged for 6 or 7 hours, as long as you sleep. This timer here, you can press down a certain segment here to fix exactly the hours or the minutes that you need the charging. Then there is a button here, which basically switches it on and off. So once the area that you have pressed down touches the button, it switches on. Once it's gone through here, it switches it off again. So you can time exactly the duration for which you are charging. So you can actually control. It's not good for your phone to charge it for 7 or 8 hours while you sleep, when it only needs 2 hours for the battery to actually be loaded. It will damage your battery in the long term. This is a monitoring tool where you can see exactly how much is your electricity consumption. It shows you here when you plug it into the plug. This is the European plug. You plug it into the electricity plug. You put your TV, your plancha, anything like that in here. You can see exactly the consumption. A 1 horsepower aircon, how much electricity does it consume? Does anyone of you know? I have a prize for the person who knows. This is my book that I wrote. You can see some similarities here. I used to have only the rainforest on the cover page, but my designer said that's not sexy enough. Let's get in Malaysia you say botak, here you say kalbo. Let's get your kalbo head on there and put the rainforest inside. And at the same time the message is, we need to reconnect back with Mother Nature. Because that is one of the fundamental problems we have. We have lost the connection to Mother Nature. That's why we humans don't mind destroying a forest as long as it makes a lot of money, because we have lost the emotional connection with the planet. Here in the Philippines now, I heard only 180 Filipino eagles are left. The number goes up or down depending on how much rainforest we still have. Only 180 are left of this majestic animal that is your national symbol. We have deforestation, we have species loss, but we can save the planet 1 tree at a time. Or we can save the planet 1 underwear at a time. Any idea what I'm talking about?
Laundry.
Not to wash the underwear. Wash it less, but if you don't wash it, not so good for our personal hygiene. Having the balance is I actually have at home an eco-friendly washing ball. With that one you don't need the detergent. But I didn't bring one with me. I forgot to bring it with me. Next time I'll bring it with me. But I don't think you can buy it here. I bought it in Germany. But when I wrote this book, actually, I made it from 100% recycled paper. I wanted to make sure no tree is chopped for this book. So the question was, what is the watt consumption of a 1 horsepower aircon?
700.
1,000 watts.
Yeah, it's right, 750 to 1,000 watt. But, okay, I'll find another book. You both get one, ladies first. You're welcome. And this book is printed with vegetable ink. It was not printed with the solvent-based ink. You know, my philosophy is, if I want to inspire other people to go green and leave a healing impact on the planet, I gotta live green as much as I can. But it's not a chore for me, it's not a burden for me. When I grew up in my village in Germany, I always played in the forest. My late dad told me, what are you doing? Get a proper job. You can't make money from hugging trees. But I already knew at that time that my mission is to inspire other people to heal the planet. So I never wanted to do anything else. I decided to study chemistry so I can better understand where the pollution comes from and then help the planet to reduce the pollution. So when I was saying you can save the planet one underwear at a time, beside the idea of wash it less, which is quite good, but don't wash it too little, you might impact your environment in another way. Or, you know, wash it less and where's Diane? I was just wondering whether she's got some nice perfume in her range here. Wash it less and use some perfume. Have a guess what I could refer to. I am wearing special underwear that's eco-friendly. How could underwear be eco-friendly?
By the cloth.
The cloth, yeah. It's made of... Yeah, my underwear is made of organic cloth. You want to check? Don't worry, just come closer. Sorry? Lampin, what is lampin? Cotton.
Cotton.
Yeah, but cotton can be made with a lot of pesticides and fertilizers. Usually it comes from India. There are even stories about Indian cotton farmers who buy the pesticides at the beginning of the season. If their harvest is not good, they can't pay back. Some of them commit suicide with pesticides. You can Google it on the internet. It happens quite frequently. Pesticides go into the ground, into the soil, into the water. They are not good for the long-term health of the planet. Anyone wants to check out my underwear? Preferably a lady. I can come close to you. I know you're an environmental expert, but how can you reach over to this side?